It's time for another episode of The Oil Stream with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola, presented by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Oil Stream. Nielsen and Gazzola with you here, as always, brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, where you can get a car flag. And, I had some people today texting into my show, Smash It Nielsen show, saying about car flags. They're like, Dusty, I want something that's good. And, a lot of that costs $30. This is as steady as they come. Listen to that snap.
Oh, baby.
$5. $5.
$5.
At Popeyes. They're basically giving these things away for free. So,
yeah.
$5 car flags at Popeyes. You're loving it.
Yummy.
Brett on Twitter says, I'm just here to see Tom's hair, and he's wearing a hat. It's not a perm yet. It's nice and bright, though.
It is bright. Like I
think this should be Summer Tommy. This should be Summer Tommy. That's what this should be.
Hypothetical.
You go blonde.
You brought this up a couple shows ago. Like, what if you're throwing down and I get like early CFL games? I know I've been told I might be. There's already a couple.
You can get away with that for sure. The perm, probably ridiculous, but you could definitely get away with that. I mean, look at me. I'm a mess. I'm as plain Jane as they come. They probably like to mix it up a bit. So now we do need to talk about Are you going to mustache?
I haven't shaved in like.
I feel like you're kind of growing a mustache right now. So
no, okay. I'm not. It's not on purpose. It's just out of sheer laziness. I apologize for my look right now.
That's
but
okay.
Brett wanted
Man,
to
you got a lot of hair there to perm. Hey, like that's
They said it's not enough, and I'm like, listen, we're not getting as ridiculous as Gregor wants here. Like if Gregor had his way, I would have like long 70s hair, and it would be like those tight things. And I was like, guys, let's be realistic about this. Like, not only have you ruined the color of my hair, but you're gonna perm it. And Strutty just dives right on top, and from the top rope drops an elbow. And I'm like, come on, boys, like this is my hair here.
Well, listen, here's what's happening here. And Gregor sucks us all into charity events. It's his thing.
Right.
I think he's just living hair vicariously through you. In fact, vicariously through you. That's what he's doing, right? Because he can't do that. He'll never be able to do it again. You can do it. And I think he's like what he wants to have happen to him, he's giving to you, Tommy.
And you know what? And it was for a great cause. We raised a bunch of money in a short window of time. And I'm thankful for that. And I appreciate everyone who did donate. And short-term suffering, long-term gain for sure. So yeah, in an ideal world, from my point of view, he would have a skullet. And
I thought he said he was going to do a skullet.
No, evidently not. He's like, $20K. I'm like, okay, whatever. We did all right. And for Strutty, like, what would be perfect for Strutty? Like, what would he have to do?
Oh, I'm sure he's been sucked into some. I
mean,
Strutty would have to just go bald. Simple as that. Right? Go full Gregor. Full Gregor for $20,000.
Strutty's hanging on. He's still got a little bit on top. He's doing okay.
It's a little bit there, but that's probably what I have to do. Anyway, Oil Stream brought to you by Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen. Pick up your $5 car flags at all of your Popeye's locations while you're there. Pick up some of those chicken nugs. I went through the drive-thru yesterday, got myself some chicken nugs, and they're just so tender. It's so good. So good. By the way, that ghost pepper chicken sandwich is now available as well. So
nice.
Maybe I'll try that one of these days, maybe on Friday. A little Easter, Good Friday, ghost pepper chicken sandwich might fit well.
You've got a long weekend. You've got 2 long weekends here. What's going on, dog?
I got Easter weekend, and then I'm going golfing in Victoria the following weekend. That's like a 6-day weekend. So my wife's a saint. What can I say? My wife is a saint. All right, Oilers and Kings. Tommy, we're at this point now where they're playing really well. There's not a lot to sort of pick apart from the game. And that's not what I'm asking here. I'm just asking overall, what was the biggest story for you for the Oilers coming out of this game against the Kings?
How they stuck with it from the get-go, and they didn't lay off. They didn't make any mistakes, or there were mistakes, obviously, but there were no like detrimental self-inflicted wounds. We had talked for the first 4, maybe 5.5 months of the season about self-inflicted wounds. None last night. I think at the end of the night, officially, the giveaway total was 14-1. And
that was
Edmonton
wild
had
to me.
One? Like,
yeah.
And you look at it, you go, well, that can't be. Come on, those scorekeepers and game officials in LA don't know a true giveaway. But, they might have missed a few, whatever. But I think generally you go back to Edmonton's game, you're like, that was airtight. That was very airtight. And Dusty, we're not talking about just like 1, 2, or 3 of these games that the Oilers have had this year where they've really buckled it down. We're pushing 7, 8, maybe by the end of the season, 10 of them, which is something we could never say before in years past, even when they finished second in their division.
Yeah, I think you have to look at it from one perspective of they just beat the Kings at the Kings game, right? Like, go look at the way the Kings have played for the last, all season, but specifically like the last, 6 to 8 weeks. They're playing in 2-1 games. They're playing in 3-1 games, 3-2 games. The Kings aren't playing that one high-scoring game, but outside of that, it's been this type of game. This is what they do, right? They sit back at 1-3-1, they score first, and then they suck the life out of you. And the Oilers just sort of decided they can play that game too. And the fact that the Oilers can beat the Kings at the Kings game is huge, because I'm not sure the Kings can beat the Oilers at the Oilers game, right, Tommy? Like the Kings Kings might have a game where they score 6 goals and whoever, Skinner, Campbell, whatever, somebody has a bad day, but the Kings aren't going to win a series by out-Oilering the Oils. Well, it looks like the Oilers could win a series by out-Kinging the Kings.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does, and I like the way you described it. That was LA's first regulation loss at Crypto.com Arena since like mid-January. They had like an 11-0-2 run, and Edmonton just kiboshed that, just like how Edmonton did it to Boston a couple months ago, where the Bruins were just ridiculous at home and Edmonton snapped their streak. I will note one caveat, and I'm not rating on the Oilers parade because they out-kinged the Kings, like you said, for sure.
Yeah,
they did have a few pieces missing. Fiala, obviously, Mikey Anderson, who McDavid took out last week, and they were without Edler, who's just a third pairing guy now, but that's a veteran guy. They had to play Bjornfoot last night, but they did out-king the Kings. And one thing that Dennis Bernstein said on the pregame show yesterday is, regardless of those injuries, the Kings and their system play and their devotion to the strategy that Todd McLellan has implemented, it's very plug and play. It doesn't really matter who's out, because the next guy up knows exactly what he needs to do and knows his role, and he generally plays it to a T. So having considered that, you go, geez, they did out-king the Kings, and they did continue to keep their game airtight, and they continue to also win in ways that generally they couldn't do before. It is very impressive what the Oilers are doing right now.
Penalty kill no longer a weakness? Like, are you confident in the penalty kill going into the postseason?
I'm more confident in the penalty kill going into the postseason. I still have my lingering doubts in the back of my mind because of how porous it was for the majority of the season, but we've seen this team go perfect in its last 4 games on the PK. The prior 3 before this little stretch, I think they had leaked 1 each game, but overall it is improving. It's creeping up into the middle third of the National Hockey League rankings in PK. So I'm not giving it the A+ record or score. I'll say it's, creeping up from like a C to like a C+, B-, which is better, and you'll take it, right? Especially considering what time of year it is.
You can win the Stanley Cup with a B- penalty kill. I think that's something you can do. I actually declared on the Nielsen show this morning, around 9:20, that the Edmonton Oilers will win the Stanley Cup. And that's because local legend John Short dropped off breakfast sandwiches for myself and Lieutenant Eric. It was like a once-in-a-lifetime sort of moment. And it gave me like this vision. I'm just like, this is it. This is the beginning of the miraculous run. Like, that's what's happening here right now. So, yeah, it was big.
You know what? First of all, that is a very cool and unique local sports moment. John Short is a legend.
Yeah. Dropping off breakfast sandwiches. Just amazing.
They looked so good, like really like
good.
filling and delicious. And then the other thing I thought to myself, I'm like, boy, I think John Short, I wonder if he thinks I'm a dum-dum when I'm on there because he loves you guys. And you know what? That's okay. I can live with that. But maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
I find it hard to believe that John Short, I get almost 90 years old, would even enjoy my show. You know, it's just, I'm just like, did he leave him? Did he drop him off at the wrong place? Like, what's going on here? And John was the guy who gave me my first chance to get into this market and do online play-by-play. So I'll always be very grateful for him, and I learned a lot from him. First hockey game I ever called in Edmonton was with John Short on color, which is just an experience all in itself. So John's always been a legend to me. So the fact that he dropped off those breakfast sandwiches today was absolutely terrific. All right, let's get into the Boston Pizza appetizer here. If you're looking to go watch the game somewhere tonight, it works out well. A little bit of a later start. You can hit the Boston Pizza Lounge and take advantage of Appy Hour. You're looking at 2 to 5, and then again from 9 until close. Get some delicious food, crush a few bevies, and watch the Oilers tonight at all of your Boston Pizza Lounges. Our next live on location, still have to lock in the date, but we're going to be at the location right by the West Edmonton Mall, right across the street by Wayne Sports Cards and stuff. So that'll be really fun. That'll be later this month. I'm sure Lieutenant Eric, who lives right by there, will pop by as well. Tommy, some of the questions I've been asking, we asked for your questions, and if you're watching right now, feel free to throw out any questions as well. This is interesting. Comes from Pat. Jay Woodcroft, Coach of the Year. Does he fall into that conversation here, Tommy? I mean, is it the McDavid Draisaitl impact that might take Woodcroft away from that conversation? Just asking.
That's a great question. Who would be the front runners this year? I would think that obviously Jim Montgomery in Boston would be up there.
With how good they've been, right? That might just be one of those years where that guy gets it.
Right now, I mean, Pete DeBoer and the Stars have kind of fallen off a little bit compared to where they were earlier this season. Bruce Cassidy in Vegas, he might be up there after he got let go by the Bruins. And then I'm trying to think, like, who else in the East would probably get consideration? Outside of that, why wouldn't Jay Woodcroft? Todd McLellan, maybe? Right?
Yeah, I don't know why. Does McDavid and Draisaitl impact the way do you think people would view Jay Woodcroft in this conversation, I guess?
Of course. Probably. But, I mean, he's made it all click. He's turned them into a contender. Todd McLellan couldn't do that before. Ken Hitchcock definitely couldn't do that before. Dave Tippett tried and couldn't make it happen. This is the guy that seems to have unlocked it. Plus, he's gotten a GM that has added some elements to this team that has truly taken it to a new level. So that might be it to his detriment. But, for a guy that's in his first full year as a head coach, I think his record now, he's got like 71 or 72 wins to like 30 losses and 10 or 11 overtime losses. Like, pretty damn good, man. Like, pretty damn good.
The one name, I was looking it up, and then it popped into the inbox. Lindy Ruff, New Jersey Devils.
Yeah, there's another good one.
And this really is a guy, they remember they were chanting Fire Lindy, and then they're chanting Sorry Lindy. So that's been pretty good. Yeah, Lindy Ruff, that could be a guy in the mix there.
Great reminder, and it's also, like the Jets and the Senators, easy to forget that New Jersey's in the league. I admit it.
Sometimes you're right. I know. When you were going through the teams, I was like, "There's another really good team we're forgetting here." And then I saw. I was looking it up when it popped up in the inbox there. Would the Oilers be where they are without Jay Woodcroft right now, Tommy? Like, how much does he deserve for getting this team to this level?
I would say no, they would not be where they are right now. And I think his strategy that he has deployed, the way he has got this team humming at 11-7 or 12-6, the way he has brought guys along in terms, I'm thinking of Vinny Desharnais, how he's helped out Evan Bouchard. I mean, we could say Matthias Ekholm has certainly helped out Evan
That's helped
Bouchard
a bit too.
Quite a bit. Yeah. And then now Ryan McLeod, who's injured right now, has certainly found his home in the National Hockey League. So, and he's also been able to blend the guys that he worked with as an assistant coach with the young guys and then mix in the new guys. it seems like there is a harmony to this group. So I would say no, they would not be contending for top spot in the Pacific and the Western Conference with 4 games remaining without Jay Woodcroft and the systems and everything that he's implemented to give this a team the vibe that it is riding on right now and utilizing to have success in the later parts of the season.
Yeah, another pretty solid decision there by Ken Holland to go to Jay Woodcroft. What's the latest on McLeod, buddy? We got people asking. What's the latest on McLeod?
All right. So he is skating with the team. He's on the trip, and he could play by the end of the week, I believe. Is kind of the realistic target. I would be very surprised if he played tonight. I don't think that's going to happen. What I was told is, and he talked about it 2 days ago in his availability, is he got hit and he felt maybe a little bit winded, but he went back to the bench thinking he was okay. And the team doctors and athletic therapist TD4 said, you know what, we should probably check this out even more. He wound up in hospital for a look-see. Because it was more severe than it initially was thought to be. And so it's an internal thing is my understanding. I wasn't told, but I was given the heads up, hey, like he had to go to hospital. He felt okay, but once they reevaluated him, it was like, no, they needed to go check him out at the hospital. So something internally happened. I don't know if it was like a cracked rib or anything like that, but to the point where he's been kept off the ice for a certain amount of time and was held at bay. So something internally obviously went wrong after he took a hit that didn't seem like much.
When he returns, is that the end of 11-7? Like, is that a 12-6 then? Okay, so then if it's not the end of 11-7, who would be the odd man out, do you think, among the forwards?
Probably, I mean, unless Warren Fogel's game goes in the tank, I think it's Derek Ryan, or it would be
Costin.
Clean Costin. I mean, It depends on what kind of lineup you want to roll out too. If you want big and physical, and you probably keep Costin in. Derek Ryan held his own very well last night. I really do think.
They were bumping him up a bit and stuff. He's a feisty, right?
You're not taking out Janmark, I don't think. Bugstad has been an absolute.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. No, exactly. And then I know there was some people texting in to your show and a little bit last night on the post-game show, like, what about Yamamoto? And I'm like, have we really seen this team take Yamamoto out? No. So
yeah, that's highly unlikely. Now, can McLeod make a bigger impact in the top 6 even than Yamamoto? Very much a possibility. I mean, different style of player, bring more speed to the table. I mean, but it's not happening.
I'd be open to that. Yeah, I don't think that they're playing McLeod ahead of Yamamoto unless Yamamoto's game tanks. But the fact that McLeod's like 7-8 inches taller than Yamamoto and is physically just bigger, not that he doesn't compete the same way Yamamoto does, because it's 2 different style of players. But, when it comes to big boy hockey, Yamamoto doesn't shy away and he gets in there. Maybe McLeod provides a different look, but I don't think that would happen. That's just my instinct telling me I don't think they would do that.
I started laughing. I was reading one of the questions that trickled in here. We're doing some questions. We're doing your questions here today. And this is a good one from Sandro. Given that, thanks to Todd McClellan, the first round series between the Oilers and Kings will be unwatchable. Do you have any recommendations on series to stream for the first couple of weeks of the playoffs? Which I think that's terrific. Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso's out right now. We're 2 episodes behind on Ted Lasso, but you can't go wrong with Ted Lasso.
Okay, a couple of things. That's pretty funny from Sandro. And a lot of people didn't like that first period and were like, it's so boring. But I watched it with a lot of intrigue. And
you're a sick bastard then. You're a sick bastard.
Sick bastard. Because I was waiting for someone to make a mistake, and neither team really did. But I'm like, this is what we're going to be seeing in a couple of weeks, playoff hockey. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be highs and lows in this series if it does come to fruition. A couple of series, if you haven't checked out Full Swing yet, it's really good.
I haven't watched that yet. Yeah, great for Masters time.
I found the Colin Morikawa episode to be the most boring.
Okay.
And the other ones I thought were really great. I'm a big fan of Joel Damon now. And Sahit Tagala, I'm like, and Mito Pereira, like, I was just like, okay, like, I like what these guys are doing with it. And then they really built up Rory at the end. I'm not going to say much more if Sandro hasn't
Don't spoil it.
And also, Before we hopped on today, I actually watched a couple of episodes on YouTube of Bob Does Sports.
Okay,
And
what's this?
It's a funny YouTube series, and I watched him do like the 18 beers in 9-hole challenge with his buddy Joey Cold Cuts, and then the other one was 18 shots of Fireball in 9 holes with Joey Cold Cuts. And I'm not going to say how it goes down, but I was pleasantly surprised, and I enjoyed both of those thoroughly. And I felt drunk just watching them at 11 in the morning today.
18 shots of Fireball in 9 holes each or together?
Between the two of them. And they have to break 40.
They have to break 40?
Yeah, it's
okay, but what if I can't break 40? Like, I don't break 40.
Best ball. No, it's best ball.
Oh, best ball.
Yeah.
I could easily do 9 shots of Fireball in 18 in you said 9 holes, right?
In 9 holes.
Yeah, 9 shots at 9. Yeah, I would do 4 or 5 shots right at the beginning, and then do the next 3 or 4 probably like at the 5th hole. Be a breeze.
What about like, because they would basically do 1 a hole. I would play like the first few holes like with 1 shot.
Oh, and then pound them
in a good spot, and then start to slowly get
strategy.
them in, and then save a couple, like save at least 2 or 3 for the very last hole when you get to the green. Then boom, 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 to make sure you're playing well enough and you got the score, and then you could complete the shots.
Let's see here. Do you guys think that the lockdown D will continue now until the playoffs? It's been encouraging the last few games.
Yes, I think it will. Will it be as blemish-free as last night? Probably not. I think the Colorado game will be a huge test. And the other thing I'm curious to see is how they handle the Sharks, and if they stay disciplined and don't let any bad habits creep in because of how bad the Sharks are, even tonight against Anaheim. But I think that intention to keep it as airtight as possible will maintain. And I think that Dave Manson, Mark Stewart, and Jay Woodcroft ultimately will be cracking the whip on the guys to make sure that they are totally in line and disciplined with that style of play in their own zone.
Chris Lowenheim, send your question in on Friday. We'll get to. There's some good questions here. I'll savor that one. There's a few that we can get to on Friday. Oilers and Ducks tonight, Tommy. What type of game are you expecting? Let's get into that.
With the way the Oilers are playing, I would be surprised if it wasn't a lopsided game. And I don't know if the Ducks at this point now can even try to muster up the gusto to knock off the Oilers and play such a good game against them. I mean, I think they put up a good effort on Saturday. They still lost 6-0. Do I think it could happen again? Unlikely. So I think we're in for a convincing Edmonton win. And I say that with the utmost respect for a Ducks team that has had a miserable season and is probably heading into an off season full of change.
Well, let's get into this for Cool Bet. It's a game day, so we have some odds that we can look at. Let's dive into your Inside the Numbers Oil Stream Slick Pick. I've actually got an exclusive available over at CoolBet right now. If you've not yet signed up for an account at CoolBet, go to coolbet.com. Use the code LOCKSHOP when you sign up, and you'll get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to $200. The odds right now, Oilers minus 377 on the money line. There's not a lot of value there. The total in this game is set at 7 right now, minus 106 on the over, minus 110 on the under. The puck line is Oilers minus 2.5, so to win by 3 or more at plus 114. Now, if you go to CoolBet right now and you hop on to click on Lock Shop Partner Parlays, and I've got a CoolBet exclusive in there that I basically did up for this. Tommy, you tell me what you think of this. And I'm with you. I mean, with the way they've been playing lately and where the Ducks are at right now, I'd be pretty surprised if the Oilers aren't in full control of this thing. So it's plus 425. Oilers win by 2 or more. McDavid with 2 points or more. And then at least 1 point from Hyman, Nuge, Draisaitl, and Bouchard. Is that asking too much tonight?
I would take that bet. I don't know how much I'd put on it, but I would take it. Yeah.
You sprinkle. Right, just a little sprinkle right there.
A little sprinkle. Yeah.
I like it. I mean, that basically is like your power play scoring a couple of goals, mixing. Like, these are the guys who I didn't even put Kane on there. I just put Draisaitl, Nuge, Bouchard, and Hyman 1 point, McDavid 2 points, Oilers to win by 2 or more, and it's plus 425. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. Woo.
I'm pretty excited about this. Pretty excited about it.
Partner bet, partner parlay.
Let's see here. Sean says it could be closer, but still Oilers. Plus Campbell net probably. Yeah, but I still like him to win by 2. Campbell's coming off a pretty good game, so we'll see what that does. Sean's also suggesting that instead of doing it with Fireball, we do that golf challenge with tequila. Which
no, I'd be dead by the third hole. Like
I'm out on. Yeah,
flat line. Yeah,
I think Fireball's the top end of this. And then if you want something super weak, like Pink Whitney or something, we could crush through that as well. But Fireball would be the way to go for me.
I like Jägermeister. I could do that. But tequila.
Jaeger Bomb? That's too much Red Bull, isn't it?
That's too much Red Bull. It's very filling. Yeah.
I do like Jaeger Bombs. We could go with a sugar-free Red Bull, maybe. Change things.
They are very good.
Jaeger Bombs. Very yummy. We should do some shots here sometime, Tommy. We'll get some shots in during the playoffs, man. Yeah.
Oh, we will. You got to come down to the pre and post game in the playoffs because I'll be down on location the whole.
Oh, I will, buddy. Yeah. Don't worry, I'll be around. I'll be around come playoff time, but that'll be great. All right, that's going to do it for us. Tell your friends about the Oil Stream. Obviously, a ton of content, Oil Stream episodes, Oil Stream in 5. A lot of stuff coming up here during the playoffs. Look at Tommy. My goodness. I like it, man. I think you look good right now. You look like you're the head. You look like you're the front man for a boys band in the mid '90s, and that was the best time for boy bands, buddy. So that's really pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
Thank you.
All right, get us out of here, buddy.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. I'll always appreciate it. Me, Nielsen, and my crazy hair say like, share, subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, and we'll see you on Friday.